Hello learners, in today's video we'll talk about the UPI which was being introduced so that we can boost our digital economy and digital transactions, and also we can have a digital inclusivity. But in today's article they're saying that though the initiative is nice, there's certain kind of duopoly. At many times we'll listen the word monopoly, but in respect to UPI or the transactions or the money which is involved in the wallets and all such kind of things, there is some kind of a duopoly. And also if we see the data, the government sector is having a less representative than the private sector. So the whole article revolves around this kind of a question, and what are the challenges and what can be the way forward is what I have added into the video. Now we will see. So why it is relevant and how it is relevant? Definitely we know the digital economy or the digital transaction, or in the economic perspective, the digital word is very important in our economic growth and the technology. How the economical growth is linked to technology. So UPI's impact on India's financial ecosystem. So this part of the syllabus lies very important for our analytical perspectives. And what are the regulatory frameworks? Like NPCI is a body, and RBI's role in ensuring the fair market prices. The whole question is arising in this aspect in this particular article. And what are the governance challenges? Like how do we balance this kind of an innovation and the stability, especially the financial stability? And coming to our security and sovereignty, we have seen a number of times that cyber crime or related to the cyber world, there are a lot of crimes happening like fraudulence, and there are many methods which are happening. So what are the exact challenges, or what are the exact data available? That lies very important. And how are we going to addressing the risk of the frauds and foreign dependency so that we can uphold our sovereignty. So in this four aspects and many more, this topic lies important for us to analyze in the exam perspective. So the basic introduction about UPI, it was being launched in 2016, and it's a very important and a key factor we need to understand that NPCI is very important in this aspect, and NPCI itself has launched UPI. The NPCI, the full form would be National Payments Corporation of India. And what is the purpose? To real-time payments system so that we can enable instant money transfer through mobile devices, so that the transactions, the traditional the banking sector, not like we need to go to the bank and transfer, but it can happen just under one click. That is a main purpose this kind of a scheme was being brought. And coming to our growth trajectory after 2016, in 2017 it was been noticed that there are 0.4 billion transactions worth of 1 lakh crore has been done, and in this year in 2024 over 15 billion monthly transactions are done worth 139 lakh crore annually. So this is a growth trajectory we can see after UPI has been launched. Now what are the advantages of this particular system? Definitely there is financial inclusion. Everybody comparatively there are a lot of people who has mobile in their hands, so they can directly have some kind of financial transaction in the banking system. So it is having access to banking services, particularly for the people who are unbanked population. So there is a sort of financial inclusion because of UPI, and there is reduction in the cash dependency. So it is accelerating our transaction, or it is directly boosting our cashless economy aim. And coming to economic benefits, there are enhancements of the transparency, because it's very visible when someone is using UPI, there's kind of a transparency there. We can check where and how money is received or money is gone from, and it is boosting our tax compliance as well. And coming to the global world, we definitely know, and it's a very pride moment that India is a leader in instant digital payments. So on the global world, there is kind of a showcasing can be done in this particular aspect. Now, what is a rise? What is exactly this duopoly is happening? UPI is brought for one purpose, but this sector or this part of the business or this particular kind of a sector is having a duopoly. If we see the data, a company like the PhonePe is approximately having market share of 48.36%, and another company named Google Pay has 37.3, and they together are exceeding 85% of the transaction volume. And coming to others like small players like Paytm, 7.2%, and more importantly the government's app, which is BHIM, is just less than 1%. So this is where the whole question is rising. Why does these two products, like in the business world, these two are called products. So why just those are getting hiked up, or the market share has been covered up with only two companies? And this is a main concern. It is causing, or it is questioning a concern like the market concentration. It is limiting the competition and innovation as well. Yes, there are already two players there. So one might think that why do we need to do? And they're not just small players. There are large number of players because they're having 85% together the market share. So it's a major concern. And there is a single point failure, over reliance on few platforms. The whole transaction can get lost if there are no other players rather than these two players in the market. Now, what is the regulatory response? How is the government or how are the authorities reacting for it? NPCI has in 2020 objective, it has given an objective saying that the third party app, whoever are involved, it should be limited to 30% of the whole transaction volume. And how can be implemented? It has to be compliance deadline extended from 2022 to 2024. And what is the current status? The possible relaxation to a 40% cap being considered. It has suggested that we have to put a cap at 30%, and the current stated is 40%, but this is what NPCI is directing. And what are the challenges for the regulations? The implementation delays is very important. We've known a number of times in the government schemes, paperwork will be done so high and so good, but coming to implementation, there would be delay, or at least there would be a dead end. So resistance from dominant players. So there is resistance from dominant players, and what can be the potential issues? There can be innovation slowdown. As I said, there are already people or the big players into the market. One might think there's no need to innovate, and there are a lot of products found in these two platforms itself. So there can be innovation slowdown and also entrenched monopolies due to extensions. This lies the major regulation challenges in front of our government. And what is the market vulnerabilities? What is exactly happening because of this duopoly? In financial year 24, we have seen 85% increase in UPI related fraud cases. And coming to some other data, in financial year 23 itself, we have seen this number of cases worth 573 crores of the fraud done in regard to the UPI transaction. And in 24, we have seen 1.34 million cases involved, 1,087 crores of fraud cases happened regarding to the UPI transaction. And what are the reasons? The low financial literacy and lack of awareness about phishing and fraud preventions. So this is directing us to our cybercrime world. So what is happening because of the market vulnerabilities? Only two players are involved, and there are a lot of times we cannot question these big companies because they are into the private sectors. There are a lot of cases happening which is telling us that cybercrime is rising because of this kind of phenomena in this particular sector. And what can be happening, what can be happening is dependence on the foreign owned entities. Google Pay and PhonePe are foreign backed. This is very important concern to be addressed because the chances of our security and sovereignty question over this particular point. And there are raising concerns about the data sovereignty and security. It's a major key point of our internal security. And cybersecurity risk, as we've seen in the data, the growing threats to payment systems. People can go back. The whole aim or the whole objective of bringing this also can backlash because of this kind of frauds happening. People will get scared. So there is a need for robust defense against our cyber attacks, and also money laundering risk. Insufficient regulations can enable illegal transactions regarding this particular aspect. And what is the parliamentary recommendations given for this particular challenge? They have said that we need to encourage local fintech players. They need to be promoted, given incentives and subsidies so that we can have our local fintech players. And we have to have a proper digital payment app, and that has to be regulated in a very neat manner. And also we need to promote the data localization. We have to ensure the sensitive financial data remains only in India but not cross the borders. These are the recommendations given by parliamentary committees. And what is the solution? What can more be done apart from these organizations recommending? First of all, definitely we need to have a proper regulatory framework. We have to enforce the market share caps. We have to see that the other players or the third party apps, they should be given a cap. They should not be allowed to exceed above that. And also we need to penalize whoever are not complying to the regulatory framework, and this has to be in a very strict manner. And we have to promote competition. We have to support the domestic payment platforms as NPCI and parliamentary has recommended. And we have to offer incentives so that the small players also can come into this particular aspect. And we have to enhance our financial literacy. Obviously, awareness is very important in order to reduce the crimes so far. Awareness and digital literacy lies very important to be addressed, and we have to have that too on the nationwide and also at the local level. And the cyber security has to be improved. The mandatory security audits for the payment providers has to be done in a very rigorous way. And we have to use AI for fraud detections, because technology, the two crimes can be tackled with another crime is a saying. So a technology driven problem should be addressed by using technology, advanced technologies in this aspect. And we have to have the policy collaboration. We have to align RBI and NPCI and other stakeholders, whoever are involved, for the better governance in this particular aspect. And so, since the global leader, we are there in the global leadership, we are so proud about this particular initiative. So we have to keep in mind of the challenges posed irrespective of the success. What are those challenges? Dominance of duopoly, rising of fraud and cyber security. So to address this, we need to have a balanced regulatory framework in order to enhance the competition, and we have to have a robust safeguard kind of a framework in this particular world, so that we can address all the market vulnerabilities and we can sustain the benefits of UPI, and we can achieve the main purpose why UPI has been brought. This is the whole point to discuss, that UPI is, though it is a good, there are aligned challenges towards it, and it's a high time that we have to react for it in order to uphold our sovereignty and security as well. So this is all about what is UPI and what are the market vulnerabilities in this aspect. Thank you.